Hey guys, MJ Madness here, and even though the NHL trade deadline is still 3 days away, already some big moves are being made. As just moments ago, Ben Bishop, arguably a top 5 goaltender in the NHL, was traded to the Los Angeles Kings in return for Erik Cernak, Peter Budaj, and a 2017 7th round pick. Now, this trade definitely is interesting for both teams. Looking on the Tampa Bay side first, this trade makes a lot of sense for them. Ben Bishop, he's 30 years old and an unrestricted free agent, meaning he was probably going to walk from Tampa Bay at the end of the season, and they probably assessed their team, look at their situation, and said, we're probably not going to make the playoffs this year. They're currently sitting 8 points back, and it doesn't really look like it's going to happen. So I think they've decided to become sellers and decided to recoup Ben Bishop for what assets they could get, rather than having him walk in the summer for nothing. Also, they have one of the best backup goalies in the NHL. His name is Andrei Vasilevskiy, and he's one of the young stud goaltending prospects, and definitely looks like he could be a starter in this league for years to come. So it looks like they'll be handing him the reins. They acquired Peter Budaj from the Los Angeles Kings, and he'll probably back up Andrei Vasilevskiy for this season, and maybe the next one as well. Erik Cernak is probably the biggest piece, and while you may not recognize him, he was drafted in 2015 in the second round. He's a defensive prospect and definitely looks extremely solid, and the 7th round pick is something nice to throw in there because you can never really have enough picks in the NHL. Looking over to the Los Angeles side, I'm not really sure I quite understand what they were doing with this trade, although definitely it's always solid to have a goaltender like Ben Bishop on your team. And why I say this is that just one weekend ago, Jonathan Quick, one of the best goaltenders in the NHL, came back from his injury that had him sit out 59 games of the season. And I wonder why they didn't make this move earlier when Jonathan Quick was out for 59 games. Now, I'm not exactly sure why they brought him in now, when it looks like a lot of their issues are more with scoring and on forward, rather than where they have Jonathan Quick. But perhaps they want to have an extremely solid backup behind Jonathan Quick, or maybe even a starter while Jonathan Quick rehabilitates from his injuries. So I'm not quite sure, but I definitely think we'll figure that out in the days to come. And whatever this says is that it solidifies the Los Angeles Kings as a team that are pushing for the playoffs. They're currently 4 points out of the Western Conference wildcards position in 9th place, and definitely looks like they're going for it with this trade. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more moves from the Los Angeles Kings in the coming days before the trade deadline. But that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this trade. Which team do you think won the deal? And stay tuned on this channel, as I promise you I'll have more coverage of the upcoming NHL trade deadline and some of the biggest trades. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and take care.